Welcome to Gaia's Love, a podcast of brief messages to help humanity bridge the gap to the new earth. My name is Vivienne Gerard. It is my delight to be a scribe for consciousness today, sharing the wisdom that flows through from Source. Here we go. Episode 94. It is Tuesday morning here in Cincinnati. We were gifted with this beautiful blanket of snow that has just arrived easily and gracefully. It hasn't created too much of a mess. Schools are still in session, but the outside world looks so beautiful. I was driving with my son. I took him into school, and he was taking some pictures through the window. He's like, "It's so pretty." It is. It is just this gorgeous winter wonderland outside. So, yeah, here we are on Tuesday morning. I have this line in the book that I wrote, and it's been coming forward in my attention all morning, and so we're going to kind of play with it. I don't have it right in front of me, but it's something to the effect of we choose these lifetimes carefully, and then I write with great care. And those words have just been so present for me today. I don't even know why, but they have. And so I thought we would sort of explore that a little bit. The way I believe this human journey works is that as souls, we are infinite and we have lots of different experiences. So we play on Earth or we don't. We play on other planets or we play in other energy fields or thought forms. And so when we're here on Earth, we only know what we can see and feel and experience right in front of us. We forget this infinite aspect of our soul. And that's part of the strength and the beauty and the power of being here on this planet, of being alive on Earth, is you have these incredibly dense, human, heavy, extreme contrasting, ways of being in a human body in this life. And it's so much, it's so intense. And I feel like perhaps that's why this is coming forward for me. In my own life and in several of the friendships and relationships I have, there's been this intensity that has been experienced. Maybe it's people are speaking their truth more clearly, or standing up for what they believe in, or truth is being revealed and perhaps people weren't ready for it. But there's this deeper ways that I am seeing people talking and sharing and communicating. And sometimes that leads to division. They stop speaking, they stop communicating. There's these very difficult and painful separations that are happening within families. And it's a lot when we are in that experience to move through and to feel. It's also almost impossible to remember that we are infinite souls having these human journeys when we're in all of that pain. All we can see and feel is what we're going through in the moment. And that phrase is a way, with great care, offers us a way to pull our perspective back, to look through a wider lens, and to start to consider that we choose with great care every single relationship that shows up in our lives. We choose with great care. And that, as I giggle, that is something that really pisses people off when I say it and they're in in a situation that doesn't feel good. It has pissed me off many, many times when I've been in that experience, and it's painful. So I will just share how it feels to me and then allow you to have your own experience. Perhaps the place to start is with our choice of our mothers, and for mothers, the choice of the children that they will bear, or not having the children. Every single human is born through a mother, at least at this point in time, that is the case. And so every soul, there is an agreement that is made between the soul of the mother and the soul of the child. Like, you will come into my womb, I will create life with you, give you the physical body, and you will be birthed out into the world, and you will have your human experience. And so the contract between two souls who agree to be mother and child is the most important contract made. It is the origin of everything that the child will experience in that lifetime. There's beautiful articles and books that I've been reading about that gestation period, how the baby feels and receives everything it's going to learn and know and experience through the amniotic fluid, through the womb that the mother is holding, the cocoon around that baby as it's growing and developing. Every aspect of that is already created and put into the form of the baby before that baby's even birthed out into the world where you have to breathe and eat and sleep and function. The baby is already experiencing earth in the womb of the mother. And so that is the primary relationship. And it is with the greatest of care that two souls make that choice. The greatest of care. There is no mistake in the mother and the child relationship, because it's the origin of all other relationships that come after that. And so doing the work, doing the healing, the forgiving, the understanding that needs to happen in our relationships with our mothers is the most important healing work to do. Some mother-child relationships are harmonious and beautiful and just this gushiness of love, and many aren't. Many are more complex, and for some children, the hardest thing to see as a mother is to see another child being neglected. To see a child who is worthy of love not receiving that love. It is painful for a mother who has a big heart to see that. And yet what I know to be true is those relationships are selected with such great care. There is something that child is going to bring forward into the world in their journey that will help heal humanity in some way. There is some learning that that soul wants to experience in the rejection of the relationship from the mother. There is some healing that the child is bringing to the mother who will have her own wounding that she's working through from her relationship with her mother. The child sometimes often reflects all of that wounding back to the mother, so the mother can heal, so the mother can have her own soul experience here in the human form. These primary relationships with our mothers are so complex, and when we don't sit with the possibility that there are places we can heal in ourselves in relationship to our mothers, we start carrying that wound with us and then projecting it out into all of the other relationships around us. And then so begins this exploration of being human. There are no mistakes. When we are souls mapping out these journeys as humans, the way it looks to me is this huge big room with all of these flowcharts, floor plans, maps, grids, blueprints, whatever it looks like for each individual as they visualize it. It's this complex room that has so many options and pathways and twists and turns that can happen in the human journey. The soul selects that journey with such great care. knowing there are lessons to be learned, there's expansion to go through as a soul, that there's always more to be created and experienced and brought into consciousness. Always. And so the soul sits in this space and selects carefully the mother, and then the father. The mother and the child select the father together. The father always is second. Not because they're not as important, not at all. It's because the mother and the child relationship is always the primary one, because the mother holds the baby in the womb. And then from there, the soul in this beautiful contract room is selecting siblings or cousins or primary friends or partners down the road, their own children, all of the options. They're all brought forward with great care. So when we're here now, in this moment, in this human moment, in this human experience, with all of these human relationships around us that look so messy, so screwed up, so complex, so hard to understand, my invitation to you is, what if this way that I see it is true? What if every single relationship we call into our lives is selected with great care? Meaning there's no mistake if you and your friends have had disagreements. There's no mistake if you've been married once, twice, 3 times, 20 times. There's no mistake if you have had a child or not had a child or lost a child. There's no mistake in the ways that you navigate through your relationships. If you love once, if you love twice, if you love all at the same time, which creates its own complexity. If you lose a partner you adore, there are no mistakes. What if that is true? And every detail of your journey you selected with the greatest of care, knowing you would have the activation and the healing you needed in your soul journey here as a human. You would be bringing healing to those around you who you're in relationship with. Even if you don't get it, even if it makes no sense, even if you cannot understand in this human moment right now how that could possibly have been a wise choice, your soul knows so much more than what the human mind can experience or understand or comprehend. And so today, perhaps just play with that idea. What if every single relationship in your life you selected with the greatest of care? How would that change the way you are interacting in those relationships? What can you shift? What can I shift? So those relationships are healthier, stronger, more loving, kinder, more compassionate, more considerate. How do we communicate knowing we carefully selected that person to play a role in our lives? Would our communication be different? It opens up a whole different landscape of how to be in the relationships in our lives. It is a powerful, frightening, overwhelmingly clear way to navigate our relationships. So sit with that. Play with it. Try different ways of communicating and communicating. Let me say that word a few times. Communicating is a powerful word. Play with it and just see what shifts in the ways that you show up with those around you that you love and that you think you don't love, but that You carefully selected to be in your life. So there must be a soul love somewhere behind that. What if that is true? Whew. Thank you for tuning in to today's vibration. Let's take this message of pure love out into all of our communities and continue expanding love here on Gaia. So much love from my heart to yours.